Hey, this is Jim with Outlaw Raw, and I'm going to tell you how I beat the gout with raw food and juicing, so stay tuned. Hey, welcome back. First thing, this is my first video, so please excuse the amateur quality. As I mentioned in the intro, I was able to beat gout with a diet of raw food. If you want to read my full story, visit my blog at outlawraw.blogspot.com, and you can see my full story on Karen Ramsey's YouTube channel, Super Healthy Children. I did an interview with her, told her my whole story from start to finish. How I got the gout and how I was able to reverse the gout through raw food. So this first video is just basically an introduction about me, how I got started in raw food, where I am now, and how I'm continuing on my journey. There's a lot of inspirational videos out there, so I encourage anybody who's interested in raw food or learning more about raw food. Man, YouTube is such a motherload of information. So basically, how I got started, I was a professional wrestler for many years. My final match was in April of 2007 when my wife called me in the locker room, told me she was pregnant with our third child. I now have 5. So I decided at that time it was time to hang up the boots and be a family man, full time. So I quit wrestling, but during the whole time I was wrestling, I lived on Atkins diets. I was 191 pounds, solid, and I was eating bacon, pepperoni, eggs, steak, you name it, everything that you could possibly eat. So once I stopped wrestling, I took on a sales job and was living on the road. So I didn't change my eating habits, okay? I was still eating bacon, pepperoni, eggs, sausage, and being on the road, add to that fast food, and it was a recipe for disaster. I ballooned up to almost 300 pounds, and sure enough, one morning I woke up, thought I broke my foot. I went to the doctor, they took an x-ray, the foot wasn't broken, so they said, let's take a blood test and see what's going on. All right, they took a blood test, and sure enough, came back, the doctor said, your uric acid levels are high, you have gout. I said, okay, what the hell do I do now? Can't walk. I got to be able to walk. So they put me on medication, 2 medications, allopurinol and indomethacin. The allopurinol wasn't so bad, but the indomethacin, the painkiller, was murder. The first day I was on it, I couldn't get out of bed. I was irritable. On top of that, it causes these massive stomach cramps. So I lived like that. I lived miserably for a couple of years. Then finally, when my fifth child was born, I'd come down with a massive, massive flare-up. And anybody out there who has gout knows how bad those flare-ups can be. I had a wicked flare-up, and my wife had a C-section, so she was recovering, and I was basically bedridden. I couldn't get out of bed because this flare-up was so bad. And I called the doctor, and I said, "Look, I need a refill on the indomethacin and the allopurinol." He said, well, you haven't been here in a while, so you got to come in. I said, how the hell am I going to get there? My wife is in bed. My mother-in-law's helping out with the little ones. She's recovering. I can't walk. I can barely drive. So how am I going to come in? I said, you got to come in. Yeah. So, needless to say, I was pissed off. So, climbed out of bed, crawled to the car on my knees, literally, picked myself up, got into the car, and when I tell you putting my foot on that gas pedal was the most painful things I've ever experienced, but I managed to get to the doctor. I crawled into the doctor's office, and people are looking at me like I had 2 heads. They'd never seen someone crawl into a doctor's office before. I think the receptionist was even startled. So, got to the doctor, got my indomethacin, got my allopurinol prescriptions. They were nice enough to wheel me back out to my car in a wheelchair. All right, but as I got in the car, I said, that's the last time I'm giving those son of a bitches any more of my money. So my father had sent me a book a couple years prior. It was all about eating raw and alkalizing your body. And I didn't take it really seriously. I was always of the mindset that in order for something to work, you need a prescription for it. So I started reading it. I started getting into it, and I started, there's something to this. I said, what have I got to lose? What have I got to lose? I'm not going back to the doctor. I'm not going to be a slave to the doctor. So I started eating raw food, and I started drinking green juices and fruit juices. Okay. Sure enough, the gout started going away quicker than with the medication. Okay. So I was feeling really good. My body started feeling better, started having more energy. I started having the type of energy I had when I was wrestling. All right. So I'm very skeptical. So what I did was I did an experiment on myself. I wanted to see if it was all mental or if there was something really to this. So went to McDonald's and I got about 5 bacon Angus snack wraps, and I knew that would be enough with the sodium and with the fat. I knew that would give me a flare up. So I induced a flare up, and overnight it happened. So I said, okay, now let's see. Now let's put it to the test. Let's see if this thing really works. So started on my green juices, started on my raw food, and a few other things, and we'll get into in other videos. I'm actually going to tell you how to get rid of a flare-up in 2 days or less. So I started on that, and lo and behold, the flare-up was gone in 2 days. 2 days. Okay? And I haven't been on any medication since. I know there's a lot of folks out there who are suffering from gout, and they're letting the gout control their lives. But I'm here to tell you, I want to tell you because I've experienced it for myself. Okay? You don't have to let it control you. Okay? You can control it. You can control it, and you don't need those hardcore medications to control it. Okay? Nature has given us such wonderful things that we can take advantage of in our body. When we give those things to our body, oh man, it's a beautiful symphony that goes on inside. And you will see your body change. And I'm telling you, the results can be miraculous. Okay? So that's it for the first video. And I hope anybody out there suffering from gout gets a little bit out of this and maybe takes a look into this a little further, because it is such a wonderful, wonderful thing to do to your body, to change, to give your body all these wonderful nutrients, and your body will reward you. I'm telling you, I've done it, I've experienced it. I wish you all the best. Good luck on your journey. Stay healthy and kick ass at it. Take care.